Steve, how's training been this week, and what's been the prime message this week?
No, I think training's been good, as always, with this group of players. Very key, very focused, understand the task in hand. But for us, it's business as usual. You know, it's a game of football. We know it's a game that we can only win or lose. We know the magnitude of the prize at the end of it. But ultimately, we have to rely on the principles and the way that we've been playing in recent matches. So that's how we look at the fixture.
Given what's at stake, do you feel it's important to try and keep the players as grounded as possible?
I think the players are grounded. There's no point in us getting carried away with ourselves. I mean, as a nation, we've been here often before. I never quite got over the line. So this group of players, as I've said many times, understand what's at stake and understand what's needed to get the job done and get over the line this time.
Do you feel that these players are ready to grasp the opportunity?
I think they've shown in recent matches that they're certainly focused, they're certainly determined to do well for their country. And yeah, I think when you come into a game like this, you can feel the mood in the camp this week has been good. It's been quite boisterous, confident, which is where everybody wanted us to be. So we're at that stage, and now we're coming to the good part, which is the game.
How many selection conundrums do you have at this stage, do you think?
At the start of the week, I had many, you know, because the boys who missed out last month, obviously for different reasons, were replaced by players who came in and did very well. So for me was maybe a few more hours less sleep, thinking about team selection or whatever, and looking at the lads in training, see who's there, see who's good, see who's maybe a little bit off colour, but I can report that everybody was good, so it made my selection even more difficult. So yeah, one or two positions probably even now still mulling over in my mind, but doesn't matter who I pick. The 11 that start and the 5 substitutes, if I need to use 5 substitutes, we'll all be ready.
Ryan Fraser's absence is obviously a blow, and Grant Hanley as well, and Fraser and Dykes have struck up a good partnership in the last couple of games. How many options do you have to replace him, do you think?
Quite a lot when you look at the number of forwards in the squad. So I have good options. We can go different ways. I can tweak the shape of the team a little bit to suit certain individual players. So we have good options.
It's a big message about just saying to the boys, make sure you don't come away with any regrets from tomorrow night's game.
I think when you go into every game, it's obviously a message that you want to make sure that you leave everything out there on the pitch. This game, with the magnitude of the game, is probably where I don't need to say that, because the players will understand that if they come off the pitch with regrets, they'll never forget that night. So you go out there, you do your best, you give everything you can, and hopefully the footballing gods give you a little bit of luck, smile on you a little bit, and you get the right result.
Can you sort of protect the boys from the pressure, the scrutiny, the sheer optimism that's going about, you know, the Tartan Army right now? Can you keep that away from them, or do you actually use that to fuel them?
No, I think they just have to look at me. I don't go running around jumping about the meeting room and trying to stir them up, and it's really difficult to say, but it's another game, and it's a game that you can win or lose, and you can only win if you do the basics right, you get the principles right, you get everything that we've been doing recently that's worked for us. If we get all that right, then we have a great chance to win the game. So that's all we can focus on.
Of course the Tartan Army would love to be there, but when you look at what the atmosphere can be like in that stadium in Belgrade when it is full, is there an advantage there for you, because it won't be that cauldron of noise?
It's always a difficult one to gauge. You know, everyone would have said that we were at a disadvantage last month with no Tartan Army in Hampden. We managed to win all 3 games. Maybe Serbia would have felt the pressure of the partisan crowd in the stadium. Maybe that would have worked against them, you never know. Maybe it would have worked for them, maybe it would have worked against them. I know through my time in football that going away into a hostile atmosphere can sometimes galvanise a group, and you go there with, you don't need to switch on, because the crowd automatically switch you on, and everyone's at it from the first minute. So sometimes I don't think it'll be the case this time, but sometimes when no crowd there, it can take a little bit for the game to warm up, but I'm not so sure this one will take so long to warm up.
Steve, you mentioned hoping for some luck there. Do you feel that you are a lucky manager?
No. I think the harder you work, the luckier you get. I think the players have worked hard for the breaks that they've had in recent matches. But listen, luck irons itself out all the time. Normally, if you play well, you win games, so we'll try to play well
In previous Euro playoff matches, we've had England and Holland. Just how big is this opportunity, a one-off match against Serbia?
I think it's what we've spoken about is an opportunity. We understand the game. It's a win or lose game. It's 90 minutes, or it's 120 minutes, or it's 120 minutes in penalties. There will be a result on the night. It's a big game. You can't keep dancing around it, and you can't keep answering the same questions. Like I said before, for us is to focus on the game, make sure we get everything right on the night, and hopefully we come out with the right result. A big game. Have you allowed yourself to dream of a big result? Not really, because first of all I've got to focus on making sure that the lads know their jobs, they know the threats that Serbia can bring, they know the weaknesses that we can maybe exploit. So after the game will take care of itself.
You look quite relaxed sitting here. Is that the way you feel inside?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be probably a little bit more tense tomorrow. I meet you guys the day before the game. Match day is a little bit different, but like I said before, the atmosphere has been good in the camp. But it should be good, because we had a really good 10 days last month. We managed to win 3 games. That's why we're looking forward to the 3 games coming up now.
Have you seen the confidence build in the players through every camp that you've had so far? Do you notice a different vibe about the place?
The more you go without losing matches, the better you feel about yourselves. The more comfortable you feel when you come into the environment. And we've tried to sort of build that environment where they come away with us and they're looking forward to it. They want to be here. So on the first night when they all get together, you can hear the chatter, you can hear them catching up, having their little laugh and joke. I don't know what they laugh and joke about sometimes, but they seem to find it funny. and it's nice for us to get together as a group of coaches as well and start to focus on the task in hand.
Sorry, Steve, how do the Serbs as a threat and as a team compare to what you've been facing in recent times?
Yeah, a little bit different. I mean, obviously the Czech Republic were a really good side. They put us under pressure in a way that was a little bit unique, in that they just kept throwing players forward and just kept risking, because obviously they were chasing the game from 5 minutes in. We got an early goal against them, and sometimes whenever the goal comes in the game can shape the game and change the way the game's going to be. Serbia are a little bit more studied with their build up. They have got 3 or 4 really dangerous players in their team. The formation they've been playing recently is not dissimilar to our own formation, so hopefully we can match up and come out best on the night.
Their results have been very mixed, even though they did beat Norway. Does that give you hope that your group is very consistent? Perhaps they haven't quite found what they are as a team yet, and that gives you an extra boost?
I think I would probably counter that one by saying that in the biggest game that they've had to face in recent matches, they played their best game. So I think we can expect Serbia to be 100% performance-wise and attitude-wise. So we expect their strongest team and we expect their best performance. So we have to be ready for that.
Steve, remember you said, I think before the Israel game, that as soon as you came into the camp, you noticed something different straight away about the players. What have you noticed this time around? Same.
There is that edge where they know they're going into 3 big matches. Obviously the first one is really big, but all 3 games are important for us. I brought a bigger squad, and I've been explaining that to them through the week. You know, there can be 16 players involved in every game, so you're going to need all the bodies, and everyone's tuned in and focused. You know when you have the little team meetings, you can tell if a group of people are listening, if they're concentrating or not, and focus 100%. And you've got so many players who've played in so many big games that they're used to that kind of adrenaline rush. They're used to peaking for the really big ones. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, when you're a footballer, you want to play in the big games. The big games don't come around very often, so when they do come around, you have to embrace the moment and make sure that you enjoy the game. And normally you enjoy the game by winning. And you've been involved in so many as a player and as a coach or a manager. Where does this one rank? Where does it sit? Yeah, I'll be in the top 10. It's up there with the big ones. Listen, I'm not one that ever tries to categorise. So if you ask me best player I've ever seen, I'll never tell you. If you ask me to best moment, I'll never tell you. But listen, it's a big game. We all understand that, and it's a game that I'm looking forward to as well. Will you tell me if you win tomorrow night? If you win tomorrow night, will you tell me? No, I never do. I never try and compare. I never try and put anything as better than the other. Maybe when I sit down at the end of my career, I'll have a little look back and I might try to categorise the moments then.
Steve, you say that you're keeping the players grounded, you're trying, they don't want them getting caught on the hype, but you've got a group of players that a lot of them are about to hopefully achieve something that they can't remember in their lifetime.
It makes me feel quite old when you say that. I think someone else mentioned it. I think it was Scott McKenna was 2 or something the last time Scotland qualified. I was still playing the last time Scotland qualified. It was a very, very long time ago. So, yeah, there is definitely a generation that's missed the atmosphere and the feeling that you get as a nation when you do qualify, that proud feeling. So hopefully this group can deliver.